Have you ever been told your dreams are impossible? This is the story of Walt Disney, the dreamer who was rejected hundreds of times but never gave up. He was born in 1901, and by the age of 4, his family was living in a one-room apartment. His father lost his job, and they were struggling to survive. So Walt had to work several jobs, including delivering newspapers and shining shoes, just to help his family make ends meet. But despite all the hardship, Walt was passionate about drawing. He would spend hours sketching animals, cartoons, and anything else that caught his interest. At 22, Walt started his first animation studio with his brother Roy. They called it Laugh-O-Gram Films. Their first cartoon was called Little Red Riding Hood, and while it wasn't a huge success, Walt didn't give up. He continued to produce cartoons, and eventually his hard work paid off. One of their cartoons, The Three Little Pigs, became a huge hit and won an Academy Award for Best Short Subject. But unfortunately, the success didn't last long. The Great Depression hit, and the Laugh-O-Gram studio went bankrupt. Determined to succeed, Walt and his brother Roy decided to move to Hollywood. With only a suitcase and a dream, Walt started working as a freelance animator and soon met the love of his life, Lillian Disney. Together, they started their own animation studio and produced some successful cartoons. But Walt's dream was bigger than just cartoons. He wanted to create a world where children and adults could escape to a magical place filled with adventure, wonder, and joy. That's when Walt started planning Disneyland. He worked tirelessly for years, pouring everything into making his dream a reality. But along the way, he faced hundreds of rejections. Studios laughed at his ideas. Banks refused to finance his project, and critics said he was unrealistic. They called him a man with childish dreams who was out of touch with reality. Walt was rejected over 300 times, but he never gave up. Through it all, he kept believing in his dream. In fact, in the darkest moments, he would say to himself, "If you can dream it, you can do it." Finally, in 1955, Disneyland opened its gates. The crowds cheered as Mickey Mouse led the parade. Walt watched from the sidelines with tears in his eyes. All those years of hard work, sweat, and sacrifice had paid off. It wasn't just a theme park, it was a place where families could make unforgettable memories. Over the years, Walt continued to expand his empire. He bought out Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and his movies and characters became a part of our culture. We grew up with Mickey Mouse, Snow White, and the Seven Dwarfs, The Jungle Book, and The Lion King. Sadly, Walt passed away in 1966, but his legacy lives on. Today, Disney is a multi-billion-dollar empire that brings joy to people around the world. Walt Disney was a dreamer who dared to believe in a world where anything is possible. He taught us that with hard work, dedication, and a little bit of magic, we can make our dreams come true. So remember, no matter how many times you get rejected or how difficult things become, never give up on your dreams. Keep believing in yourself and keep moving forward. You never know what amazing things might happen next. This is your host. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more stories that will inspire you to be the best version of yourself. And remember, you can find all the magic inside of you.